the triangle, but I mean it is heating up inside the RBC Center. Just about set for the start of this game. Look at Sidney Lowe and Billy King. Sidney Lowe, of course, along with Derek Wittenberg out at the Matha, played down here for the Wolfpack, and certainly one of the greatest players of all time for the Wolfpack right there, David Thompson. One of the greatest leapers, certainly, Billy, I have ever seen.
Best to ever play in this league, and certainly was, I think, well decorated by Sports Illustrated as one of the 5 greatest college players of all time. The incomparable David Thompson.
Great crowd, great setup for this game. Duke coming off its only loss of the year, falling to Maryland 87-72. And NC State, after losing at home to Boston College, got a win over FSU. Mike Krzyzewski, with a win tonight, becomes only the 21st Division I coach ever to win 650 games. What a luminary he has become. And Herb Sendek, 39 years old and driven. The 17th coach in the 110-year history of NC State. Now in its 7th year here in Raleigh. All set to go. The officials, Tony Green, Thomas Lopes, Michael Stewart, and NC State has the ball first.
One big contrast to these teams is the depth of the clubs. As you can see, Horvath in the starting lineup tonight. Duke really does not have a starting lineup when you come down to it. NC State really solid with 5 guys, not much of a bench at all.
Crawford with a good first step, and he was fouled.
Horvath coming up off the ground against a smaller player. He's got to stay on the floor.
Foul was on Nick Horvath, his first, team's first. Talk about the starting lineups for Duke, Billy. They've had 8 different starting lineups in 13 games.
Yeah, as I said, Tim, it really makes no difference who's in that starting lineup. The key is the minutes that are distributed and really who's in the game at the end.
Crawford a little bit out of control. He's called for the foul. That'll be his first.
Terrific foot movement by Duhan, as usual, to get in front of his man with his feet instead of reaching.
Could be the best defensive player in this conference. You look at Maryland, North Carolina, Terrapins getting a win on the road, and Georgia Tech over Elon. That's now a final. This is Duhan.
And that's strong. One area in which Duhan has not provided what's needed back there for a guy who's got the ball in his hands a lot.
Are they asking too much of him to be the point guard?
Well, I think he has got to start burying that shot, or they're going to start letting him have it and really be able to play almost a man and a half on Riddick.
This foul's going to be on Duhan. His first. A time-tested veteran, 46 straight starts for Chris Duhan. A 6'1", 190-pound junior from Louisiana.
You're talking about a guy shooting 37% as Duhan and under 25% from 3. So, Tim, you have got to be more of a threat than that.
Here's Hodge. Draws iron. And Duhan will push it a little bit.
That he can do.
Back outside they go to
beautiful feed.
Look inside to Horvath.
Great unselfish pass because Riddick with his quick release could have taken the 3. Saw a wide open Horvath and gave it up.
2-0 Duke, just underway. Tim Brandt and Billy Packer with you.
And straight man-to-man both ends. Ewing, a smaller man on Hodge. Hodge ought to get him in a much closer area to the basket. There he goes, posting up.
Shot clock at 10. This is Crawford. Sees the shot clock.
A lot of long rebounds in this game. Melvin, who likes to play outside as well. 2 on the floor, beats 1.
Good scramble for the ball. Duke comes up with it. Duhan will set the offense.
Now, a tough matchup for Melvin.
Oh, nice pass inside to Riddick.
And Tim, what happened right there is a falling of defensive assignments on the part of State, not realizing who was playing who and what defense they were in. 2 wide open looks for Duke.
How about NC State going so much zone against Florida State in the last game? Totally uncharacteristic.
Nice overplay. Hodge too far away from the basket against a much smaller man. Needs to get down inside some.
2 turnovers now for NC State. The Wolfpack has almost 14 turnovers a game. But they have more assists and turnovers. They've got to protect it better tonight.
There is a 2-3 look trying to match up, but you know the guy that loves this is Riddick. Matching up out of the 2-3.
Last trip, they left the back door wide open. Out to Riddick. Duhan in the lane. And over the back by Sanders. His first.
I don't think Chris realized how open he was. Now, this is what looks like a 2-3 zone, but it's a matchup and really rushing at the shooters, which means the shooter ought to be able to pump fake, drive inside, and there should be a lot of open looks inside this zone.
Powell drives and charged with the offensive foul.
Well, there you have a guy 6'9" driving from 25 feet away, Tim. It's hard. He's got to give up his body here. Not under control at all. Pretty easy to draw the charge against him.
Billy, right now, NC State doesn't look comfortable with his game plan.
Well, here's this zone matchup. And look at how there's going to be some holes here with a little dribble penetration. Bad pass.
Riddick was calling for it at the top, was left alone. They didn't see him.
You don't find many teams that try to match up zone against the shooters the likes of Duke because it really spreads the team out an awful lot.
Shot clock at 5. Somebody's got to look. Riddick does. 3.
Whether he's going to his right or whether he's going to his left, whether he's 18 feet from the basket or 38 feet from the basket, he has the release.
7-0 Duke. The Wolfpack with 3 turnovers and 0 for 2 from the field.
And there you see a down inside, a little posting up on the part of Hodge, but they aren't patient enough to wait till he gets open.
Whistle away from the ball. And this foul will be called on Sanders. That'll be his second. So with 15:53 to play in the first half, Duke leads by 7.
See MVPs. A virtual giant. Ralph Sampson led Virginia to the NIT championship, 3 NCAA tournament appearances, and 112 victories. Winner of 3 ACC and 3 National Player of the Year awards, Sampson left Charlottesville the NBA's #1 draft pick. Ralph Sampson, MVP and member of the ACC's 50th anniversary team. Food Lion, extra low prices.
Duke off to a quick lead, 7-0, and J.J. Redick 2 for 2, Billy.
Well, you know, there's the good look inside. Then Redick made the good look inside where he hit Horvath. And here he comes out. Now, what in the world would you be waiting on with the clock winding down, knowing the ball's going to go to Redick? You've got to be in an overplay position to make sure he doesn't touch it. Make Duhan take that shot if you're NC State. Tim, this year it's kind of unbelievable. State has gone 12 times this year for 4 minutes or more without a field goal. They're bordering on that right now to make it the 13th time. Just no consistency in this offense early.
NC State looks like they're trying to spread the floor, melt the clock a little bit. So far, it hasn't worked.
Well, I think that plays in Duke's hands because look at the perimeter defenders that are out there for Duke. Jones, Riddick, Ewing, and Duhan all can guard a man 20 feet from the basket.
Sherrill kicks it back to Melvin. He shoots the left-hander.
That breaks
State's on the board.
Melvin, as we all know, can step out. He's a real threat from the outside, but then somebody of the smaller players is going to have to go inside some. There's that matchup again.
And that's for 3.
Dante Jones has been unbelievable of late. Averaging in the last 6 games 21 points and shooting almost 55%.
Hottest player in the conference over that span. Here's Melvin with the left-hander again. Nice. Puts it down.
Good job.
10-4 Duke.
Melvin's got the offensive game to give Horvath some problems. See, there it is, penetration against the matchup. Nobody back there whatsoever.
Ewing just went down the middle by himself, his first bucket.
I don't think they can stay in his defense very long, Tim, in terms of the way Duke's attacking it.
Duke 5 for 7. That's for 3. Finally, Crawford hits from long range. Redick answers.
It's time to get out of the matchup.
You certainly don't want to try to match baskets with them.
Well, it's very difficult to match the Duke because they're going to be a team that'll put up 100 points in a game on you. They've done it 3 times in this stretch of games where they've controlled NC State.
Melvin's attempted 3, way off.
You see, right now, Hodge is not sure what defense they're in.
Ewing with a running one-hander gets the roll. Duke by 10, and Herb Sendek needs a 30-second timeout.
Good call timeout to get his team in some semblance of defense. 5 feet from the basket, which leaves a lot of area to cover.
Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by RBC Centura, building a better bank, one customer at a time.
You know, in the 9 wins that State has, they're shooting 49%. In the 4 losses, they're shooting 35%. So you can see these big differentials on this basketball team. Lack of consistency.
Well, you mentioned the droughts. In 3 games, they had those droughts of more than 4 minutes. 11 or 12 times. You can't do that, especially against Duke. Here's Crawford. And just like that, that was a good look and a good bucket by Levi Watkins.
Nice penetration by Crawford. Sets up a 2-on-1 situation. Illegal screen by Shavlik.
Shavlik looks like he's starting to fill out a little bit. They've got him listed at 6'10", 215. Looks a little thicker than that now.
Well, he has a lot of talent. Nice post.
They go to Crawford. He backs it into the power move. And NC State has hit 5 of its last 6.
But then they're going inside, taking that ball down there instead of relying strictly on a perimeter shot. Now they're playing the straight man-to-man. They got out of that matchup.
Duke by 6. Raddick to Randolph. He's fouled.
Probably should have put it up right away. Goes for the pump fake instead of the power move. And there we see, posting up down inside, bigger man against smaller man. Good move by NC State. There's a case where I mentioned we're talking about a guy that is a very smooth player. I'm talking about Randolph now, but he's got to learn that on that pass, he's got to go up and get the 3-point play. He's always trying to play the finesse move.
Good looking foul shot. He's a 70% free throw shooter. He's now hit 42 of his 59 free throws.
Well, he can shoot in every phase of the game, shooting 48% from the floor. He's shooting almost 40% from 3, although he hasn't taken a lot of them, but he does have a nice stroke. Off Melvin first.
Duke comes up with it.
Let's check the defense again. Now Shavlik, Randolph is down inside. He's got Scooter Sherrill on him. Now the switch is made.
This is Jones for 3, and it's short.
Good hit ahead.
Sherrill. Yes!
Very good pass.
NC State within 4.
Crowd getting into it. You can see Julius Hodge is used to being in winning situations. Trying to show leadership here.
This is Ewing. Rebound Watkins. Crawford calls a timeout before he goes out of bounds.
Good way to gain a possession, particularly at 18-14. You want that possession to get within 2.
Both teams now shooting well, Billy. Maryland got a win tonight against North Carolina on the road. Huge win for the Terrapins after beating Duke, so they go to 4-1 and jump up on top in the conference standings. Duke trying to match them here tonight. Hodge kicks it back outside. Watkins, this is the 3.
Duke now not doing a very good job at all stopping penetration. Nice comeback by NC State.
It's a 1-point game. Run by State. Shot clock at 15. Dockery had a look.
We shouldn't be surprised, Tim. These two teams are ranked 8th and 9th in the league in field goal shooting percentage defense.
Shot clock at 2. Duhan. Takes it away.
Since State's gotten out of that matchup, their defense has been much tougher. Oh, that was right down the middle.
Halfway down.
I thought it was
back out. Dockery pushes it to the paint. Hodge Hodge was out in front.
Oh!
Look at Crawford. Sherrill for three.
There's a leadership rebound by Duhan, and that's something.
How about how the tempo's changed?
Yep.
It's like Herb Sendek said, all right, forget that other stuff. Let's get after it. For three. Dante Jones with his second tray.
I tell you, his concentration on both the outside jump shot and his foul shooting has been terrific. That's why he's in such a great shooting streak right now.
You know, Billy, he always seems to play well against State, too. 71% from the field in the 3 games against NC State.
Played extremely well last year in those games. 6-6, 10-4, and 14 points in the game in the ACC tournament.
That's strong.
Of course, the answer last year against NC State was Carlos Boozer. He had 22, 26, and 32 in 3 games.
Jones 2 for 3 tonight. Crawford can't get the roll.
Both teams getting inside off the dribble very easily. As a matter of fact, too easily. Poor defense. Look at that, just a dribble drive, one right after another.
Duhan was fouled out front. Foul is on Levi Watt.
NC State came back by scrapping their matchup zone and then starting to hit from the outside. It was Crawford and Watkins and Scooter Sherrill hitting from the outside, getting State right back in this ball game. An excellent run offensively, but neither team doing much to stop dribble penetration on the defensive end.
You know, it's interesting, Billy. It is an entertaining game. NC State 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Duke 4 for 7 from three-point land.
Well, we have the two teams combined 78% for Duke and 63% for State. I would say nobody's guarding anybody here.
All right, here we go. 9:40 to play in the first half. 21-17 Duke.
Zone out of bounds.
Way outside to Ewing.
Now, this is just a standard zone. Look for Riddick to try to find a hole. Hodge realizes where he is, does a nice job talking.
Ewing on the baseline.
Misjudged by Horvath. Went up too soon, had an easy putback. Betterman in now. State just trying to go to that bench enough to save some minutes here.
They need to start getting Hodge involved. Duhan doing a great job on him.
Now Duhan will be able to go ahead even if he posts up on him down inside and play him. Duhan plays tough.
Here's Hodge. Hand in one.
Julius Hodge, just a beautiful move against an outstanding defender, and Duhan puts it up with his left hand. Watch the overplay by Duhan, and still a good cut. Nice bounce pass, good catch in traffic. Puts it up with the left hand. Young man last year, number 2, Rookie of the Year in the ACC, to Ed Nelson. When's the last time, Tim, you remember a guy being ACC Rookie of the Year and then not starting as a sophomore?
Well, I don't know.
That's,
I can't remember.
Although he's
I can't remember that ever happening.
I mean, it's not that he's been relegated not to playing. He's playing a lot, but not a starter.
Dangerous pass. They moved it out of bounds.
If Horvath had been ready, that'll be a turnover Duhan, but it was really Horvath that was not ready.
Turnover number 3 for Duke. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game.
David Thompson.
How about that? The first Super Sunday. You did that game, didn't you, Billy?
Yes, I did. David Thompson had 37 and made the winning basket.
The tip in to win it, sure.
Super Bowl Sunday, the Redskins lost that Super Bowl.
Lost to Miami.
That was the big part of the beginning of those incredible NC State-Maryland matchups at which Maryland just never could get over the hump and beat them.
Still so close to I ever saw in the double overtime.
Oh, Riddick was ready but couldn't make the catch. Betterman, nice play.
Off Riddick's leg. 8:10 to play in the first half.
See, Riddick is down. He's ready for the catch. Hits him right on the knees.
Billy, Duke has 1 field goal in the last 5.5 minutes.
Well, a little turn of the tables here, huh?
So the shot clock resets. Watkins brings it way, way out by the timeline.
And one of the reasons I think that's true for Duke is they really don't have an inside post-up game. So Easter famine on the perimeter. Duhan realizes he has no numbers.
Reddick drives, and he's fouled. This foul, I believe, will be called on Hodge.
And there's where Riddick, who does not have explosive quickness or speed, but is bigger and stronger than he looks. And I think that a defender is so used to him taking the outside shot that when he does make the move off the dribble, he kind of surprises people.
Got off to a quick start last weekend against Maryland. Hit those 2 big threes, but then was held with 13 points. Makes that one. This broadcast is a copyrighted presentation. Any use of it without the express permission of Raycom, Jefferson Pilot Sports, and the ACC is prohibited.
Then you said makes that one as if it was surprising. That's 48 now out of 51 for the year.
29 in a row. 29 in a row. Not surprising at all. 94% free throw shooter. Who's the best free throw shooter you've seen in the league?
Charlie Davis. He holds the all-time record.
Charlie Davis and Greg Manning. Good year. Last night they named the top 50 athletes, male and female, but for these two teams, these are some of the players from these two schools. Battier, Dawkins, and Hill, Christian Leitner, and Jason Williams, Tom Burleson, and of course we saw David Thompson a little bit earlier sitting here in row 1.
Johnny Dawkins.
Johnny Dawkins from the Washington, D.C. area. Remember Johnny in high school. Terrific high school player, great college player.
Was the beginning of Mike Krzyzewski's great run at Duke University in terms of recruitment of quality players that put him on the top. Ewing just went down.
He's holding his knee, Billy.
Yeah, I don't know if he twisted it or bumped it. It was away from the action.
Powell traveled. It was turnover number 9.
That was
and then Ewing went down.
Yeah, I didn't see that in traffic. But you cannot come up when you ask me who's the best foul shooter. That's a statistic. You go to the line, nobody guards you. That's not subjective. I mean, who is the guy with the best record?
And you said
Charlie Davis.
That's right. And I said followed by Greg Manning, who's number 2.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, you can't argue about it. I mean, one guy.
I'm not arguing. I'm just putting an exclamation point to what you said.
Okay. All right. I guess you could say which guy could make the free throws at the biggest moment.
No, you go. Well,
okay, so
you could do that. But then it's all subjective.
What guy was big in the clutch? Yeah, exactly. But, we're not talking
best
about...
leaper?
Yeah, that becomes...
Best leaper would
Billy
be
Cunningham, and another guy says David Thompson.
You go with the Kangaroo Kid. David Thompson said he could out-jump him all the time.
I agree. Man-to-man. Keeping the pressure on right now. Trying to keep that ball away from Riddick. It's Crawford's job. Little old-time weave here.
Jones with a tough shot. Reddick from way outside. How about that range?
It is unbelievable. And how about Duhan with the recognition to grab that rebound, know where his teammates were, hit the right guy at the right time.
Reddick now 4 for 4, 3 for 3 beyond the arc, 2 for 2 at the line, and 13 points.
That's why Duhan leads the league in assists as well as assist-turnover ratio. Terrific play on his part. Good thinking.
26-19, Blue Devils. 2 men on me. Somebody's got to be free. Instead, Powell takes it himself and he's fouled.
Duke really has problems, and I'm not saying Powell is a well-equipped inside low-post player, but Duke has real problems trying to handle that kind of player.
That's 3 on Horvath.
Fortunately, Duke does have depth in terms of size, but not in terms of power players in the low post.
Is this the tallest team Mike's ever had?
I think that's a record, yeah.
So Josh Powell goes to the line. He's a 74% free throw shooter. Got into some foul trouble against Florida State, but he has played well in the last 4 games, average of 14 points, 5 rebounds, and you're looking at his season numbers.
A big game against BC where he had 23 points and 9 rebounds. Then you go in a situation of Georgia where he had 2 points and he was 0 for 8. So not consistent.
No, and the game he likes to talk about is North Carolina A&T, where he was perfect. He was 10 for 10 from the field.
Yep.
3 for 3 at the line. Here's Reddick again. Nice pass to Sanders. And Sanders is fouled.
Well, one of the reasons Sanders has not gotten consistent playing time is the lack of being able to catch the ball. Now, there was an excellent pass Not a lot of traffic, but Sanders has a real difficult time on the move making those catches.
Talked about Josh Powell getting into foul trouble against Florida State in the last game. He picks up his second here.
And State doesn't have a lot of places they can go with size.
Casey Sanders, 6'11", 235-pound senior from Tampa, Florida.
He had his best game of the year this year against Dayton. He had 13 points. Played 30 minutes in that game.
Sanders, though, is only a 38% free throw shooter. It's a big win for Maryland coming off that victory over Duke, and of course this one being in Chapel Hill.
How about Auburn in this respect? Cliff Ellis, you didn't even hear about them at all. They started the league 4-0. Kentucky, a team that's starting to get really solid now. A lot of depth on that club.
Logan seems like he's been at Kentucky for 20 years. 27-22, Blue Devils.
See how Melvin likes to stay outside all the time, even if he's being guarded by a smaller man.
Collins left alone. Hits the three.
With Casey Sanders guarding him, but Sanders would rather play somebody down in the low post.
Didn't know if Collins would play tonight. He was out 3 games with that groin injury, then tweaked his ankle against Florida State. Tried him in warm-ups, and he said he didn't know if he could go. Reddick kicks it way outside.
Oh, a very delayed call there. Mike Krzyzewski up off the bench. I don't blame him. Really, after the action. Watch the play. Goes by, makes the pass. I think it was a foul, but the whistle was late, and I think that's what stirred up everybody.
NC State down by 2 with the ball.
Now look at where Collins has got Casey Sanders way outside, playing with nobody in the post. Wide open area there. 1-4 offense. Here's where a guy like Eftimov would be so valuable to State if he hadn't been injured.
See how NC State reacts with a chance to tie or take the lead, and they turn it over. Ewing on the baseline is fouled.
Not a smart foul, Tim, because Ewing is in no position to get a shot off. You might as well let him make a tough pass.
Well, the ACC.com, your first stop for ACC information, including live stat updates from all conference games and links to all 9 schools. The ACC.com, your front row seat for ACC sports on the web. Ewing converts.
Both of these teams, excellent free throw shooting clubs. State at 74% and Duke at 70%. Duke's defense on foul shooting is not very good. Their opponents are shooting 71%. You often wonder, how does that ever happen that way, you know?
Ewing makes them both.
Full court pressure now.
Boy, Ewing had that nice game against Georgetown. He had 19 points and some key baskets. Crawford penetrates. And State turns it over.
Nice job by Duhan getting over in that passing lane.
6 turnovers now for Herb Sendek's guys.
I think the first team that can get some solid stops defensively can put themselves in position to take over this game. So far, it's just been up and down, pretty easy shots for both clubs.
Reddick's first miss. Sherrill wants to push it. They don't allow that to happen.
And neither team showing any interest in having an inside game whatsoever. Everything played on the perimeter, outside the paint. Collins' shot is short. I thought Jones was on Hodges' back a little bit there.
Boy, they just let Jordan Collins take that shot outside after he had made one earlier. And Sanders with the putback and the tie-up. Possession arrow belongs to Duke.
One of the few traditional offensive rebounds we've seen in this game. A two-handed catch by Sanders.
A little pushing and shoving and some talking. And Mike Krzyzewski says, come on over, guys. The reason for that is Eliot Eptimov, he went down with a torn ACL in that first exhibition game. He's out for the season. Eptimov averaged 7 points and 3 rebounds a game. Last year, the freshman had surgery. We were watching him before the game. Looks like he's walking okay.
Yeah, one of the things, Tim, he brought to the table, he only averaged 7 points and about 3 rebounds a game last year. But the way that they played, their style of play, the backdoor cuts, the passing from the outside, his awareness of what was going on the floor. Not only are the stats and the minutes gone, but the style of play was taken away, too. Of course, the loss of Anthony Grundy and Archie Miller, who fit in so well with that offensive style they had.
Redick for 3. Wow.
Now, he missed a jumper before where he took it without taking any dribble, and it wasn't really the shot that he wanted. Just like we saw Dante Jones take a bad shot. That is the shot he wants. Coming off the curl, he's incredible.
16 points. He's only missed 1 of those tonight.
Hey, excuse me. He missed 1, huh?
That's pretty good shooting. He's been quiet. Carroll on the baseline, running one-hander too strong, and Williams pulls the rebound.
And here's where that depth is starting to help Duke out right now. State needs to be getting to halftime.
His foul called against Duhan. Hey, folks, if you want to talk ACC basketball, we've got the place for you. Go online at theacc.com and connect to ACC's Nothing But Net. You can join me online after tonight's telecast, and I will try to answer your questions and comments. ACC's Nothing But Net on the ACC.com, the official website of the Atlantic Coast Conference. First question comes from Billy Packer, who wants to know about the best free throw shooter of all time.
Oh, no, we settled that one. I'll throw one out tonight because something to do with Hodge, okay?
All right. Here is Hodge with the turnaround, and he gets the roll.
Okay, he had the first ever NC State triple-double, right? Who had the first triple-double in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference? There's a question for you.
Jones sidesteps the defender and misses the shot. 2:40 to play in the first half. Well, let me do this process of elimination. There have only been 15 triple-doubles ever. So now we narrow it to the ACC.
Well, it took place at Virginia, but it wasn't Ralph Sampson,
Muller,
who did have multiple triple-doubles.
And Ewing picks up his first.
And as
This
I said,
is where you have to be careful, Billy, against Duke. Right at the end of that first half,
yeah,
they can make a run on you.
With 2:36 to go, State would love to stay this closer, and be able to get in for a little break and not have that depth of Duke wear on it.
Hodge makes the first one. Well, how's my answer here? Am I right, Miller? Miller?
Billy Miller, University of Virginia. Height. Now just think about this, a triple-double, height. There you go.
I don't know.
How about 5'8"? Has to be the smallest man with a triple-double in the history, maybe, of college basketball.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Shot clock at 20. Way outside they go to Watkins. He fires for 3.
Oh, good hit.
Redick.
Tough shot.
And Redick loses it out of bounds. Redick wanted a foul call.
Yeah, Redick really got caught in no man's land there. Very difficult shot to make. He'd probably been better to pull that back out.
1:55 to play. Here's Hodge. Passes underneath, and the foul is called. And so Cliff Crawford will go to the line and shoot 2.
Tim, what I like about what Hodge is doing in this game, and he's been known to score a vast majority of his points in the second half, so it's not unusual for him in the first half not to have a lot of points, but he's very patient in this game. He realizes the score is tight. He's giving the ball up, not looking to worry about getting his own self a shot.
Ewing picks up his second as Crawford makes the first of 2. It's a 3-point game. NC State shoots 74% from the free throw line. That's a big miss. And Redick is fouled before the shot. This foul is called on Betterman.
I'll give Benemis some credit, though. That's the first guy we saw really go up and get on Riddick, force him to put that ball on the floor.
Sean Dockery comes in for Duhan. "30 straight free throws." Wow. And he gets the roll.
Well, he's got 54 more to go, and he'll tie the national record. Darnell Archie.
Again, there's words under the basket.
Yep. Melvin again. I think it's Jones and Melvin this time. Melvin's teammates trying to get him calmed down.
Mike Krzyzewski out on the court. Mike Krzyzewski's up in midcourt.
Well, Herb is as well. I think this one was Melvin and Dante Jones.
21 right there is Levi Watkins. Riddick has another one coming. Boy, I'll tell you what, he is right up there with Gene Banks and Johnny Dawkins in freshman production when you look at the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he's got a better shot than both. Duke 8 for 10 at the free throw line. Underneath they go to Crawford again. Watkins. Here's Hodge.
Nice. Hey, he has a total all-around game. We talked about Josh Howard of Wake Forest. Julius Hodge has that same kind of game. Maybe not quite yet as good as Howard, but solid all-around player.
Hodge brings him to his feet. Duke takes the timeout.
No block out.
With a big bucket like that.
Well, in the league, he's the number 2 scorer in the league, number 9 in field goal shooting percentage, number 9 in free throw percentage, number 10 in assists, number 10 in rebounds, and number 7 in steals. So, you know, he's up there in almost every single category.
34-31 Duke. 1:10 to play in the first half.
Williams did a nice job posting up. Boy, Riddick he's taking that ball hard to the inside.
Well, Riddick has 10 of the last 13 points for Duke, and while he's 5 of 7, the rest of the team 5 of 16.
Well, take a look at him out there, Tim. We're talking about a guy that's got some real strength. Riddick, I mean, you think of him as a finesse player, but when he puts the ball on the floor, he's got a lot of brute strength out there. Good size for a guard, and he's got a good tough mentality.
Mature beyond his years, being aggressive with the upperclassmen.
I think that maybe he ought to get penalized on the free throw shooting if he hits the rim. What do you think, Tim? Maybe only give him a half a point?
5 for 5 tonight.
And by taking this ball to the basket, he's going to be getting on that foul line, which makes him doubly dangerous.
He's got 20 first half points.
Well, Dockery didn't realize that Hodge is that clever with the ball. Freshman mistake that way away from... I mean, you're 80 feet away from the other team's basket. You don't want to commit a foul. You're down to 59 seconds. You make them earn these 2.
So 59 seconds left. Not a foul Duke wanted.
You know, all you're trying to do there with this score, if you're guarding a guy like Hodge, is to occupy some clock, not try to go for a steal.
Hodge is an 80% free throw shooter and misses that one.
He had a game at State last year against Duke where he was 0 for 7, did not score. Melvin was 0 for 4, and he did not score. Now, you know you're in tough shape if you're playing against a team with 2 key players come up with no field goals and no points.
36-32 Duke. 55 seconds left. Boy, he made that look easy. Yeah. Just took it down the baseline.
I don't give either one of these teams a lot of credit for good, tough defense, which was that one of the trademarks you had from Duke in years past in terms of teams that made good long runs in the NCAA tournament. They could shut you down defensively. This team and State as well allow dribble penetration much too easily.
So Watkins picks up his second. Duhan misses the first free throw.
And maybe one of the reasons Mike Krzyzewski is very frank about his teams and whether they are the best or not the best. Said, you know, I've had teams that are number one in the nation, and this is not one of them, even though they were ranked number one. He'll take the ranking, but he really knows better than anybody where his team stands at a given point in the season.
Well, at times last year, I know their Achilles heel was at the free throw line. It certainly was against Indiana. And then against Maryland this past Saturday, they were 9 of 20. 40 seconds to go. Hodge off balance. That's not a good shot or an easy shot.
Over
now the foul.
Nice rebound by Williams with a little bit of an inside presence.
Wolfpack self-destructing a little bit here. That's 2 on Collins. Coming up this weekend, a couple of great games for you. It'll be a battle of the two great guards at Little John Coliseum. Steve Blake of Maryland on his way to becoming just the 4th player to have over 1,000 assists. And then on Sunday at 1 o'clock, Florida State heads to Wake Forest. Of course, you're talking about Tim Pickett with that long-range shot he has, and Josh Howard. That should be fun. A couple of good games coming your way right here on the ACC Network this weekend.
Well, that only blemish for Wake Forest is that Duke loss, in which Duke rather easily handled them.
And Wake Forest pretty much had their way with Maryland in a very physical game.
Yep. Boy, guys leaving that lane awful early on that foul shot. There was a good opportunity for an offensive rebound.
So Duke pushes its lead to 7 with 35 seconds left.
Hodge wanting to get inside. Good move on his part. Gets pushed. Has a good recognition on his part, though, to go inside with a much smaller Dockery on him. You see Hodge hit and immediately go inside. Dockery's given up about 4 inches here. Would have been no match. He pushed Hodge, so Hodge gets on the line, stops the clock again.
Second for Dockery.
We've had about 5 foul shooting opportunities in the last minute of this game, the minute of this half.
Hodge puts a lot of English on that ball. Gets it on that rim and then hopes.
Well, I look back last year to the last game they played last season against Connecticut, a team that they had a chance to beat. Caron Butler with some great plays at the end, but in that game, Hodge had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and was just tremendous.
Well, Hodge has 10 points now, and it's 39-34. Duke is set up for the last shot.
Riddick in the ball game. One of the things you don't want is if your State is Duhan's penetration and a kick out to either Ewing or Riddick.
7 on the shot clock. It's about a second difference between the shot clock and game clock. This is Duhan with 1 on the shot clock.
Will give up that shot. Duhan again, not able to bury the outside wide open jumper.
An entertaining first half. Riddick with 20 points. Hodge with 10. It's Duke 39, NC State 34. We'll be back with the halftime activities right after these messages. Night. Than 1, NC State a record of 9-4, and the Wolfpack has it first to start the second half.
Tim, I'll be anxious to see in the second half if we see any box and 1 on Riddick. And give Duhan any shots that he wants. He's 0 for 4. Riddick has got 20 points. You've got to do something to stop the young man.
Sherrill throws it away.
Does Duhan realize a man's behind him? He doesn't. Duhan loses it. This is Hodge. Take it to the hook. And they go to the line. Good move on Hodge's part. Even though they had big numbers, Horvath not quick enough to stay with him. Good drive.
That's 4 on Horvath.
And this all started when Duhan did not realize there was a man behind him. Hodge recognizes right away Horvath is not a threat to block a shot, so he takes it right at him.
So Sanders comes back in a hurry with Horvath having 4 personals. He goes to the bench.
Horvath started, played at 8 minutes, had 2 points, and now 4 fouls in that short period of time.
Hodge converts for 3-point play. He had 8 of the last 10 points in that first half for State. He has 13 overall.
The State's going to go straight man-to-man. It's Crawford on Riddick.
It's a 2-point game. Baseline is free for Jones. He's fouled.
Now, Jones' terrific leaping ability enabled him to get that shot off, drawing the foul. Nice play on his part.
Foul is on Melvin. That's 2 on Marcus.
But, you know, Tim, when you look down at the half-court stats and you see, hey, here's this guy, Riddick. He's got 20 points. You look down there and you see Duhan is 0 for 4 and missed that last outside jumper, a wide-open shot, and missed it by quite some distance. I think you got to do some crazy things against the way Duke's stats are working against him.
And Jones makes the second one. It's a 3-point game. Dante Jones with 7 points. Melvin crosses him up. And Melvin's fouled.
I think State's picking up a lot of confidence. The longer they stay in this game, the more they seem to feel that, you know, we realize that Duke has a terrific run of games against them, but I think that they feel maybe they can pull something off here.
Bill, if they pull it off tonight, though, they're going to have to do it right here on the free throw line. They're not bad as a team.
The other thing they have to be concerned about, that's why they have to stay in this game right now, is the fact that that bench will be working in Duke's favor.
Now, Melvin was in a little bit of a scoring slump until this past weekend. He scored 21 at Florida State. He has never beaten Duke.
And here's a guy with all his talent, did not score a point against Boston College. You talk about a slump, that's about as far down as you can get. Crowd getting into it right now. Hodge wanting a piece of Duhan.
1-point game. Kick it back outside. Jones off balance, throws it away.
Something I haven't seen him do in a long time. That is penetrate and just go up in the air, putting himself in no man's land.
State with a chance to take the lead. Tough shot. Boy, Crawford should not have taken that shot. And they get a break.
.23 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time not to have to rush anything.
Where's Hodge? He's had the hot hand.
That'll give him some confidence.
NC State with its first lead of the night.
The last 29 times these teams have played, State's only won 3 games.
It's an 8-1 run by State. Jones off balance.
Boy, that was a tough shot. In traffic.
Tied at 42.
Since that elevation enabled him to get it off. Last time he drew a foul.
Crawford tries to penetrate, kicks it back out to Powell. Powell gets the rebound. Herb Sendek says, settle down, get the offense.
Again, nobody in the post. You would think with Duke playing basically 4 guards that they'd be able to stop penetration on the perimeter by bigger people, but they're not doing it.
This is for 3.
Nobody under the rebound.
Hodge wants the ball. He hasn't touched it the last 2 trips. Ewing is on here and doing a nice job.
You see again, nobody in the post. Wide open area inside gives Hodge a lot of room to operate if he'll take Ewing down inside. There he goes. And then pulls back out.
Hodge isn't moving. He looks tired.
And he's waiting for a backdoor cut. Ewing sensed
got him.
There he is.
This is for 3.
Good things will happen if they get Hodge the ball down inside.
Clifford Crawford now has 9. 47-42 Wolfpack.
You sense their confidence, you know it?
Going back to the end of the first half, Duke has just 2 field goals in the last 8 minutes. And NC State has taken this lead 47-42. Sherrill with a big 3, Crawford with a big 3. That has propelled the Wolfpack.
This run started, remember that steal on Duhan, and then a good move by Hodge to take it all the way to the basket.
Jones penetrates, and they call the offensive foul on Dante Jones.
No place.
That's
Jones
on him.
Jones is getting a little too excited right now, getting out of the offense. He made 2 big plays down there, taking what would amount to bad shots. That was another one.
Blue Devils just 1 of 2, not getting the opportunities, and Reddick hadn't even touched the ball.
Again, dribble penetration, just as easy as can be. And that one against Duhan. It's amazing. State puts the ball on the floor, turns the corner off the dribble. Nobody there to stop the penetration at all. Poor defense on Duke's part.
Sheldon Williams picks up his first, and so Crawford goes to the line.
And nothing will give a team more confidence that when they realize they can beat down off the dribble their opponent.
Here's the lone senior on this NC State team, and he's not a good free throw shooter, below 60%. But he does lead State in assists and steals, and he needs to hit some of these for him.
Right, you're shooting 59%. You're a guy playing in the backcourt. You're only 3 for 12 from 3 this year, although he made a couple of big ones in this half. Got to be a little bit better than that.
Well, he makes the second when he pushes the lead to 6. This is Ewing.
And what Crawford is doing, keeping the ball away from Reddick. Reddick's had a hard time even touching it this second half.
Outside they go to Jones. Now here's Reddick.
State playing much tougher defense than is Duke.
Nice pass underneath on the baseline to Williams, and he's fouled. I believe that foul is going to be on Marcus Melvin.
Williams does provide some low post power for Duke.
Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by RBC Centura. Building a better bank, one customer at a time. Williams hits it.
This is going to be interesting now. Shavlik Randolph comes in. Mike Krzyzewski making a pretty interesting strategic substitution here. He's going big for the first time in tonight's game. He's got 2 big men in the game. He's basically been playing with Dante Jones and 3 guards the whole time.
For NC State, foul goes out. Levi Watkins comes in. Williams misses the second one. Ball still loose. Randolph.
Well, that paid off in a hurry. Blocked.
Crawford lost it out of bounds. Stepped on the line before he got the ball back in bounds. 15:33 to play. It's still NC State.
The NC State run started with Julius Hodge taking that ball right at Horvath. Crawford hitting the jumper. And then Powell doing something that we've seen all night long, putting the ball on the floor and going right by the Duke defender.
Blue Devils of Duke in the regular season over the last 4 years against every league team other than Maryland, they're 55-4. Extremely confident against everybody.
And here's the little high-low game. 2 big men in the game now for Duke. Let's see how this works out.
How about Randolph? Shavlik taking it right down the lane with power.
He has the ability, obviously, to hit the outside shot, which he's very good at. Put the ball on the floor and drive. His real problem right now, and maybe just a matter of his youth, is the power moves inside.
More significantly, that is 4 personals now on Marcus Melvin.
Very important there, because as we see Horvath on the bench with 4 for Duke, doesn't hurt them anywhere near as much as Melvin having to go on the bench for State.
So Melvin goes out of the game, and Josh Powell comes back in. So Hodge, Watkins, and Powell, Crawford, and Sherrill. They're going to let Hodge handle the ball here.
Randolph on Watkins. Williams on Powell down inside. That's the matchup of the bigger men.
Wolfpack has to stay aggressive.
Riddick got by with a push.
Watkins throws iron.
So far, Mike Krzyzewski's move here is paying off. Getting some solid rebounding inside, more power.
Running one-hander by Redick.
You know, he makes that gliding run in there. Again, not explosive quickness, but he's a lot stronger than the defender thinks. That's his first 2 of the second half.
But he's got 22 points, Billy. He seems to show up when they need it the most.
Well, I'll go back to box and 1.
Crawford, nice penetration. Kicks it outside.
Have to make that another good defensive rebound now.
Here's the cold spell that NC State seems to have every game.
I really like what Mike Krzyzewski has done here. Changed the whole thinking, the way his team is set up on the floor.
Duke running the offense.
Nice job by Powell to stay on the floor.
Shot clock at 8. Back to Randolph with 4 on the shot clock, and he can't hit it. And this foul would be on Williams.
Randolph on that step out was available. Now, if you're Duke, one of the things you would rather not have is the ball in Duhan's hands at 8 seconds, because teams are going to play off him, and unless he's going to penetrate and kick out, because you're going to let him have the shot. You'd much rather have that ball, as an example, in Riddick's hands with 8 seconds to go.
Good defensive stop by State.
Very good.
2-point game.
Oh, bad pass.
Foul was wide open, and they overthrew him. Crawford.
Saying again,
too high.
The size of Randolph forced that pass to be thrown to the much higher arc.
13:36 to play. See the turnover situation. That's number 8 for NC State.
Duke number 1 in the ACC in turnover margin.
Jones with a quick turnaround. He's fouled. This will be called on Sherrill.
And all of a sudden, Duke decides to go inside for a while. Picking up some fouls, putting State really in trouble.
And also, all of a sudden, Dante Jones is coming off that 26-point performance against Maryland. All of a sudden is getting aggressive here.
Yep. I thought he got a little impatient when State made this second half run. Took some bad shots. So he went over and sat on that bench a little while. Got a little better view of the game.
Duke 16 of 23 tonight at the line.
They will go to the line as usual, shooting, making more than their opponents shoot.
And he makes the second one.
They are now already over 300 made free throws on the year.
Billy, it's a 1-point game with 13:18 to play. Turnover number 9.
Again, Williams and Randolph, 2 bigger men, causing problems. It works on the other end as well.
Duke now leads. Sheldon Williams with the bucket.
This is a masterful piece of substitution by Mike Krzyzewski. Put his team right back in the game, changed the entire complexion of how this game was being played.
Herb Sendek wants a timeout. NC State has just gone cold. And it's a 7-1 run for Duke.
You know, Tim, when I think back of the great history of this league, I think of it, you know, you talk about Randolph going from what was supposed to be a State man to a Duke man, and the people all of a sudden be... Imagine what happened when Vic Bubas, the longtime successful assistant coach from Everett Case, went over to Durham, and then all of a sudden became one of the most masterful coaches that ever was in this league, or in any other league for that matter. At one point, he had a run against his old alma mater of 15 wins against only 1 loss. So, you know, when you think of some of these great crossovers, that may be the all-timer there. Vic Bubas from State to Duke.
Talk about this being the 50th year of the ACC, Billy. I could listen to your stories about this conference forever. Blue Devils by 1 with 12:43 to play. Wolfpack needs a bucket badly. They've hit a dry spell.
Again, there's the size.
Duke out in front. Reddick.
Left hand. Reddick did not realize he was wide open. But again, the size now that Duke's got the two big men in the game really causing State some problems, particularly with Melvin on the bench. I think State's got to counter and put another big man in the game. They don't have the size.
1 point in the last 4 minutes.
Again, another turnover. You got the two big men leading the break. Amazing.
Reddick. And he's fouled.
But did you see that? The two Duke freshman big men were out on the break. They're rested, and they're doing quite a job in this run.
11:47 to play. Coach K's not happy.
He's not happy with that particular call.
In this half, Duke 0 for 3 from beyond the arc for Duke. Look at some of the freshmen of influence. J.J. Reddick, we talked about him. 20 first half points. You see the minutes per game that he gets, almost 29. Chadwick Randolph, he gets 16 minutes a game. These are freshmen. Sheldon Williams, he's come in 17 minutes a game, and he's been big here in the second half. And Sean Dockery, 11 minutes. So, you know, they lost a lot with Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, and Jason Williams. They come back in, reload with a lot of freshmen, and they get quality minutes.
Well, quality players with quality minutes. This is a very deep team. A team, even as we now head into February, I'm not sure that Mike Krzyzewski can say, well, here, night in, night out, are my 8 guys I want to use. So, therefore, he's still in about a 10-man rotation.
Well, NC State has to do something to stop this 9-0 Duke run.
Well, I think they have to come back with Marcus Melvin, even though he has 4 fouls on him, if Duke spreads this out any further.
Inside they go to Hodge. Has his shot blocked, but he's fouled. Foul is on Sheldon Williams. Fans, you can have your Geico ACC 50th anniversary moment by winning 2 VIP tickets to the 2003 ACC tournament. 50 runners-up will receive a Geico ACC 50th anniversary prize pack. For your chance to win, just log on to geico.com.
Tim, remember early in the game when Hodge was reluctant to go inside, when they went on that drought early in this ballgame. Now that he goes inside, he is so much more difficult to match up because he's normally taking a smaller guy with him. Melvin's sitting over there. State would like to go down to maybe the 7-minute mark, but again, I think it depends on the differential in the points.
Dante Jones now with 3 personals. Hodge missed the first one, but gets this one. 51-49 Duke. Crowd here at the RBC pleading with the defense. Make a stop.
Crawford doing a great job beating Riddick out to the point to take away that quick jump shot. Wow,
for 3.
Wow, not one that Duke wanted.
Here comes Crawford. Inside they go. The whistle, the foul. Powell will go to the line.
Well, Crawford didn't realize how open he was, did he?
Foul is on Reddick, his second.
Good job by State to battle back here just when it looked like Duke could open up a margin.
Some of the scores from the ACC earlier. Nicholas coming off a big game against Duke, had 20 against North Carolina in a Terrapins win. Bosch, 21 for Georgia Tech. They get a win.
There's a young man that can play with any freshman in the country. Leads the league in double-doubles, I guess, this year.
Get Nelson to step up. You've got something going down there at Tech. Here's Reddick off the pass.
That was nipped by Crawford.
State's got a 5-on-4. Hodge. Offensive. Out of control down the lane.
Every player in basketball has to realize if you beat your man from 30, 35 feet, you are not going to be able to go up in the air inside the foul line because that's where the guys are to draw the charges. You got to stop at that foul line, good jump stop and make the pass, or be able to take it to the hoop for a dunk.
See the turnovers from tonight. 51-49 Duke.
Double low action offensively now for Duke. First time we've seen that in this game.
Crawford on Reddick. They turn it over. Ahead to Sherrill.
Great catch.
We're tied.
Well, Sherrill had to be aware of Duhan, who really is good at stealing the ball. That was an excellent catch.
Jones on the baseline, offensive.
They're calling Jones for a wraparound. Mike Krzyzewski has been working that official all night, and he has just been oblivious to Krzyzewski's calls.
That's 4 on Jones.
So Horvath and Jones with 4. Fans really into this game here.
9.5 to play. Shot clock at 10. Crawford with a spin move. Oh!
That should be no basket. It should be no basket.
Powell's in the cylinder.
Yes, what Powell did is grab the rim with one hand and dunk with the other. It's a very good call. You watch it right here. Powell will come in, he'll grab the rim with one hand. There it is, and then dunk with the other. You cannot do that. Excellent call by the official. And Mike Krzyzewski wanting a technical, but doesn't get it. He's just working them.
Might have a point.
Yep. Boy, is State doing a great job right now in beating Riddick to the spot.
Crawford say, wait a minute, why are you making that call on the baseline?
Now, let me tell you what we just saw right there. Mike Krzyzewski has been working this referee the whole game, all right? But he saw a bad call by the referee and didn't know what to say.
It's right in front of the trail official.
Exactly. Mike was dumbfounded. Hey, uh-oh, he helped us.
Reddick, offensive.
Oh, man, Riddick is hurt on this one. Crawford stayed right with him.
That's 3 on Reddick.
Now watch this play. You can see Crawford moving those feet. He gets over there and denies the turn.
Folks, we're still tied at 51 with 8.5 to play.
Now, State has been able to turn this into a game played at the points that they like. Duke would rather be up in the 80s.
For 3, Levi Watkins.
When you can't stop dribble penetration, there are kick-out opportunities, and that's what State's doing.
Good ball movement. This is Ewing.
See, Duhan does not want that open shot.
Nice pass by Ewing to Horvath.
That was real good work by Duke, wasn't it? The extra pass, but Duhan does not want, even when it's open, to take that jumper. Now, how about fatigue here? This has been a long run by these same fellas from State.
Nice pass to Sherrill, has the ball blocked. Crawford again.
Yeah, Crawford, when you take a look at his stats on the year, he came into this ball game 3 for 12 from 3, and he's having a career night from outside.
He's 3 for 4 beyond the arc. Here, more than 19,000 fans here on a cold night in the Triangle. More ACC basketball coming up this weekend as we get into the heart of the season. Maryland against Clemson down in Littlejohn. And then on Sunday, start off your Super Bowl Sunday with the Florida State-Wake Forest game. Wake Forest with a very talented team. Leonard Hamilton trying to turn things around at Florida State. That's the way to start off your Super Bowl Sunday. Duke is 0 for 6 beyond the arc in this half. NC State 4 for 6.
And really, when you think about 0 for 6, Riddick has had 2 of those blocked. So that shows you how NC State is getting right out on him. What Riddick has got to think about if he's going to get open this second half is maybe to step out and then cut back door and get something inside, because they're really taking away that curl move for his outside jumper.
So the foul was on Scooter Sherrill, and Ewing just drills it.
Now, we still are in a situation where Melvin is sitting on the bench down to 7. Now, I realize he has 4 fouls, but you got to figure pretty soon he's getting back in this action.
Ewing makes them both. Makes it a 2-point ball game with 7:04 to play. Folks, we've got a good one. It's entertaining. Take a look at our Jeep game summary, and it looks like this. Second half, Duke 0 for 6 beyond the arc. Riddick, 24 points, 4 in the second half. That's it. And Crawford for NC State coming up big with a couple of big three-pointers. He's got 13 for the game. Here's Tommy Burleson, David Thompson, and, of course, Billy King. This place is loaded with celebrities tonight.
Tommy Burleson, who twice is the MVP, Case Award winner in the ACC tournament.
Used to love those battles between Lynn Elmore and Tommy Burleson. And Tommy, he won his share, didn't he?
Yeah, Lenny doesn't like that brought up very often.
No, I know he does.
That 37-point game kind of burns Lenny every once in a while.
It sure does. Here's Hodge.
Nice look.
No foul called. Ball still loose.
Got hit in the eye.
Hurt.
Yeah, Watkins got hit in the eye. Now there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. So State needs to get really organized. Herb Sendak asking his team to get over there in a hurry. Needs to get organized for a play here because they only have 3 seconds.
Go.
He's going to have to come out. Come back in with Crawford as shooter.
Now, Mike doesn't like this at all down the other end. Coach Krzyzewski doesn't like that they're drawing up a play during an injury timeout.
Absolutely, but it was a good move by Herb Sendak to take advantage of it. It was right in front of his bench. Mike, of course, at a disadvantage there.
I think he's got a contact problem. They've got a mirror involved.
Yeah, and he's still on the court. So Mike wants his team back, and Mike says get him out of the way or make him call a timeout. You know, you mentioned Tommy Burleson before just a second ago, and I was looking back, you know, because I knew we'd be talking about Ronnie Shavlik tonight. Shavik's the leading rebounder in the history of NC State. To put in perspective, he had 17 games where he gathered more than 22 rebounds, okay? All the State players put together.
That's an incredible number.
Right. Had only 5. Burleson had 2 of those. Tonight, State has 18 rebounds. So imagine he had 17 games where he had 4 more rebounds than the entire State team has had in this entire game. Was an incredible player.
Well, there's 3 on the shot clock, so NC State's got to work very quickly here.
Melvin has been out of the game, but he's, you know, known for a long 3-point shot. Hodge taking the ball out of bounds. You'd think you'd want somebody other than Hodge because Hodge is a guy that could deliver a quick point. Easy basket.
You believe that on the inbound pass.
Ewing breakdown.
Big smile for Hodge. He has 15 points.
Well, Herb Sendak really took advantage of that nice little timeout situation.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Hodge.
Riddick was wide open, but Horvath could not get him the ball.
Levi Watkins comes back into the ball game. Marcus Melvin goes back out.
Well, with the lead, Herb is trying to figure, well, I'll go as long as I can, keep them out with those 4 fouls. Hodge playing off Duhan.
Horvath will take that shot and drill it.
Remember when he beat DePaul with that outside bank shot freshman year.
Philly is back to a one-point game with 5:45 to play.
This has been a very, very competitive game.
NC State spreads the floor. Run the old weave. Here's Hodge. And banks it in.
Just the ability to hang in the air. Got that shot off.
He has 16 points.
I just think he's so tough when he gets down inside.
No whistle. Stepped on the line. NC State ball.
Now watch when Hodge goes inside. You know, he really plays like he's about 6'8" down inside. And guards that are guarding him really cannot handle him in there.
Under 5 minutes to play. 61-58 State. Tough jumper. Kick it out to Watkins.
It's a good idea by State. Shot just didn't fall.
Good alert rebound by Duhan, though. This is from way outside.
I'll tell you, that shot by Duhan and the shot that was taken by Sean McRandolph before were bad possessions for Duke.
And there's a bad pass by Crawford.
They've got numbers here.
Coach Sendek wanted them to milk some of that clock. They get the turnover. Sendek saying, pull it out. Crawford left it on.
Oh, boy. That's 4 threes on the night for Crawford. One more than he had the whole season coming in here.
4 for 5. 12 points this half. 18 for the game for Crawford.
Jones, remember, has 4 fouls, so it takes away a little bit of his ability to penetrate. Duke taking a lot of time on this possession. And the ball in Duhan's hands, so you know he wants to pass rather than shoot.
Has his shot blocked.
I really think that Duke is at a disadvantage with Duhan having that ball in the last few seconds of a possession because you know he doesn't want to take the jump shot.
Billy, there's only 3:25 remaining and 64-50. Well, during that timeout, the crowd was just going crazy. Mike Krzyzewski was working the officials. We've got 3:25 to play, and NC State leads third-ranked Duke 64-58.
Marcus Melvin back in the ball game now. Herb Sendak being able to do a nice job when State got that lead to be able to sit him as long as possible. He's got 4. Jones has got 4.
Got to go all the way back to the late 90s to find the last time Duke lost 2 in a row. They lost this past Saturday to the Terrapins. They're on the ropes here.
Melvin should be patient.
Nice pass to Crawford.
Beats Duhan on a backdoor cut.
8-point lead under 3 minutes to go.
What a tough shot. Not a good shot.
Just barely got to the basket.
Got the numbers. They got numbers. Boy, what a smart play by Hodge. He dove for the ball, looked right at the referee, and called a timeout as he made possession. There was a case where Melvin would have been smart to go ahead and give that ball up. Here's Melvin on the outside. Backdoor cut. Well done. Duhan gets picked off. Easy basket. State right now, Tim, you want to stay in this spread offense, which they've been doing very well on this. Once they got down, they got patient and stayed in this spread offense. Get some backdoor cuts, use up some clock.
9-3 NC State run. Crawford has 10 of State's last 12 points. Coach K not happy. Well, here they go. They're going to spread the floor like you said, try to melt this clock, shorten the game.
And then make the dangerous backdoor cut whenever Duke overplays. There's Hodge. Hodge tries one.
Shot clock at 10. Crawford's had the hot hand. Melvin. And here come the Blue Devils. Trying to cut into the margin. Melvin with a rebound.
Jones tried to avoid the block. Probably been better trying to draw the foul. Nice job by NC State. Watch this, Tim. He goes in here and tries to avoid getting fouled. He'd have been better off putting it up through the arms and drawing the foul.
Well, it hadn't been his night. 1 point, 0 for 6.
He was 1 for 11 against Fairfield this year. Had 10 assists in that game, but you have got to prove you're a threat to score.
Melvin makes the first.
Not too early to think about it, but pretty soon Duke's got to be thinking threes the rest of the way. Herb Sendak 1 and 15 against Mike Krzyzewski. Be a big win at home if he can pull it off.
Marcus Melvin makes it a 10-point game with 2:03 to play.
Now a nice substitution. You take Melvin out, bring Powell in so that Melvin doesn't have to play defense. He'll be right back in there, though, if he gets an opportunity to be on the offensive end.
Folks, it's been 13 games, almost 6 years since the Wolfpack has experienced a win over Duke. Ewing, yes, and one.
Ewing goes up. Pretty good defense. It will touch foul. Does draw it.
Daniel Ewing, a sophomore from Missouri City, Texas, has started 7 games this year. He's third on the team in scoring and converts the three-point play.
Well, he's a silent scorer. You know, those 16, 18-point games when you really don't think about him putting that many numbers up. Oh, there's a push by Crawford, and he gets away with it.
Game really physical now. That won't count. It was a foul out front.
Yep. Melvin thinks, and I think he's right, that he can take Sheldon Williams off the dribble. Williams not used to playing a guy that far from the basket, particularly not one that's as versed as Melvin.
So Melvin goes to the line again. Told you about that little bit of a slump he was in, but he's come out of it. Foul was on Williams, and Melvin makes it.
He's talking to himself out there right now.
Well, Billy had 21 points against Florida State Saturday. They said you could see then that he got his confidence back, and he certainly is playing with confidence here tonight.
This team is a very good free throw shooting team, as we talked about, 74% on the year.
Pushes that lead back up to 9.
Got to be thinking threes. Duhan has another turnover.
Duke's running out of time.
That was Crawford. With all he's been doing on Riddick, had time to come up with an incredible steal. See, Williams cannot handle Melvin out there.
Williams fouls him again with 1:24 to play. They're starting to sense it here at the RBC.
I tell you, got to give this crowd a lot of credit, too. They have really supported this club. You know what this reminds me of here tonight? The way Maryland, and sometimes when Maryland would be in a slump situation, the crowd would bring that team into a winning feeling. They did it here tonight.
Every win this year on the road, Billy, in the ACC, I think is going to be a bonus. You've got to win at home, but It's going to be tough to win on the road.
Well, Maryland gets that nice breakthrough there at North Carolina tonight. But here's the thing that's hard to believe about State. You know, in some of their losses, they lose to Gonzaga, and in that game shot 27%. They missed 20 straight attempts in that game. Wow. When you look at this team, you say, how is that possible?
Well, this is going to take a Duke miracle if they come back here. They're down by 11 now with 1:20 to play. Reddick, good penetration. Kent couldn't finish
and hurt his ankle on that play. Riddick really hurt his ankle. He's hobbling over on the side, but he's going to take one from 40 feet.
The follow, and he's fouled.
That's Williams running the floor. He's the guy who got the rebound on the other end. Ran 90 feet on that one.
Sheldon Williams now has 7 points. He'll go to the line.
Riddick is going to come out. Dockery going in there to play defense. Riddick will be coming right back in, I think. Well, I tell you, that young man has been played very well in the second half defensively. When you take in consideration, he had 20 points at halftime, got a lot of open looks, particularly early in the game. Remember, against that matchup zone, got him on that streak. In this second half, Crawford has really done a terrific job on him.
Williams converts the three-point play with 1:02 left. 8 points.
3-possession game. If you're State, the matchup you want is get the ball in Melvin's hands up high and make Williams try to guard him there.
Last 60 seconds. Duhon with the foul.
Hodge goes to the line, an 80% free throw shooter. When a team is shooting 74%, you don't have many guys go to the line that can't stroke it. Particularly a team that basically has 4 guys playing over 30 minutes a game, as does State.
Hodge pretty strong as you look at his numbers. The last time Duke had back-to-back losses was 1999. They lost the first 2 games to Stanford and Connecticut.
I was up in New York.
Hodge makes it a 10-point game with 56 seconds left. Remember Duke's comeback at Maryland last year when they came from 10 down with 50 seconds left. Duhon for 3 with 46.3.
That was one of the most positive releases we've seen from Duhon tonight.
ACC basketball has been brought to you by Food Lion, by Bud Light, by Alltel, by your local Chrysler dealer, by Geico Direct, and by Pepsi.
46.3 left in this game. Herb Sendek has waited a long time to beat Duke, almost 6 years. Well, he leads 74-67, and time is running out on Duke.
I think that we're going to see Duke immediate fouls here. Well, but Jones is a man you don't want. He's got 4 on him. That's what Buckner was brought into the game for, to commit the quick foul, but he doesn't get to the man. I think that's Jones' 5th, isn't it?
That's 5 on Duke. Dante Jones.
Well, you wanted the immediate foul, but Buckner was putting the game to commit it.
So Sheldon Williams will come back into the ball game for Duke.
Buckner stays in the game, which surprises me.
Dante Jones says, hey, what am I going to do? Nobody was around the ball. I was there.
Riddick over there still on the bench. Buckner stays in the game. I'm surprised that Riddick not back out here ready to go ahead and play in the offensive end.
Well, he hurt the inside of his foot. I know that. That's what he was pointing out to the doctor.
Yeah. But he still has his sneakers on.
Boy, how about Melvin at the line tonight? Just perfect.
He has stroked him, and Herb Sendek did a great job keeping him on that bench a long time, and his club hung in there.
NC State 21 of 28 at the line. This is for three. Draws iron. Duhan for three. Draws iron.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
Boy, did Ewing go up in the air for that rebound.
And did he come down hard?
Pretty good release by Duhan that time. Look at Ewing go in the air and actually broke his fall with his hand. Yeah. Sometimes that can be very dangerous. Well, he was in the air.
Probably the most frightening spill I've ever seen was David Thompson. Remember that time he came down on his head?
Yep, I'll never forget it. Right over the top of Phil Spence.
Ewing makes the first.
You know, we were talking about triple-doubles earlier tonight. Could you imagine somebody saying, "You mean to tell me David Thompson never had a triple-double?" I mean, it is kind of hard to believe.
A lot of people forget that it was illegal to dunk back then.
Yep.
Ewing makes it a 7-point game.
And here are going to be fouls right away if you're Duke. Do they want to put Melvin on that line again? Ooh, that could have been
Duhan
intercepted.
almost had the interception.
But State has been up to the task here in regard to drilling these free throws.
Sheldon Williams picks up his fourth. Got a big basketball weekend coming up this weekend. Saturday, it's 12th-ranked Maryland against Clemson down at Little John Coliseum. Not an easy place to play for the Terrapins. And Florida State trying to turn things around, travel over to take on Wake Forest. And so the Demon Deacons, very strong. Melvin 10 for 10 at the line, and this is his first one tonight.
Well, Tim, we're looking at a Duke team that just a week ago was #1 in the nation. Now here you talk about since '99, first time they go to back-to-back losses. That's an incredible run they've had, too. In each of the last 6 years, they've reached the #1 spot.
This is for three, obviously. I mean, it was way out there. Sherrill comes up with it, knocked out of bounds by Duke. Good hustle by Andre Buckner. He almost had it. Last 21 seconds. Turnover. Tried to draw the foul and couldn't. No whistle, no foul. Now we'll go down the other end. Our Pepsi players of the game. J.J. Redick, 20 first half points. He ends with 24. And Clifford Crawford, 20 points. Big three-pointers here in the second half to propel NC State.
Well, if you're a Duke fan, coach, or player, one of the things you have to think about them is early in this ball game when State was kind of out of sync defensively, Duke got off to a run, but then didn't play hard, stopping defense to really open up the game and take the crowd right out of it. The longer State stayed in the game, the more confidence they got. The fans did a good job keeping them there, and they're coming away with a big win.
Do you think this isn't a huge win for Herb Sendek? 1-15. Last 10 seconds. And the foul, and Levi Watkins will go to the line.
Duhan forever hustling.
The Blue Devils season record over the last 4 years against every league team other than Maryland, 55-4. Maryland's won 4 of its 9, but it's been a dominant run by Duke. And now they lose 2 in a row, but this is a very talented Blue Devil team.
Now, I think the last real big win that you can consider is when Duke was #1 and played in the ACC tournament back in '97. Remember that run that State had, winning 3 games to get to the final, even though they were a #8 seed, finally losing to North Carolina. But they beat Duke that night 66-60.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, NC State has beaten Duke. The Duke Blue Devils go to 12-2. The NC State Wolfpack go to 10-4. Next Saturday, Duke plays Georgia Tech at Cameron. The Wolfpack host UNC right here at RBC. Billy, what a win for NC State.
A good, gritty performance, and it puts them in a position that maybe they're not going to accept the second division berth.
Once again, the final score, NC State 80, Duke 71. You've been watching exclusive coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports Network. For Billy Packer, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Raleigh.